Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Hafele. This is their part number 502.47.186. It's a foot pedal for waste bins, stainless steel material. And I'm not sure about you, or at least I can speak for one potential client of ours. It's not necessarily straightforward how this is used, at least it's not to me. So let's discuss exactly what this is. They call this a foot pedal, and this is going to be something that you're going to use to allow you to help get a waste rolling cabinet open. I guess presumably there's not a handle on the or a knob on the waste bin that you can use, or perhaps you've got your hands full, whatever the case might be. Let's take some basic dimensional properties and we'll dive into more of how this is used. Overall width is going to be about 4 11/16. Its overall height looks like it's about 2 3/4. Its overall depth is about 3 5/16. And its weight, let's talk about its weight, how heavy it is. And the weight of the unit is 1.53 pounds, so it's heavier than I suppose you might initially think. So how does this operate? Let's take a closer look at its functional operation. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So the way that I view this is, here's your right side view, here's your elevation view, and here's your plan view. Well, the back side, there's a spring back here. Well, that tells me something obviously is meant to pivot. And when you touch it, you can get something to pivot. You can pull on that and it will come apart, but I think really what's happening here is these two oblong holes are meant, in my opinion, that something's supposed to be attached there. So this point will be fixed. You can pull that forward, I suppose, but I think what's meant to happen by virtue of these triangular shaped components is that that's meant to tip out. And indeed it does. So taking that reasonable conclusion and then looking at the instructions, which we'll do next, this is going to be mounted behind. And another tip-off there is how thin this material, not thin, but how relatively thin it is. This will be mounted underneath the cabinet and behind the cabinet face of your drawer. Okay, so all this is going to be able to do, all this functionality really is cabinet is closed up tight to this. I would think you might need to mortise the face of this to draw that back flush with your cabinetry. But when you push on that with your foot, that's going to force the face of the cabinet out and away from the jamb, and that's a reasonable conclusion because there's a wear strip, a self-adhesive wear strip that's meant to go on the back side of your cabinet so that when you are pushing that forward, this leading edge is going to hit this wear strip on the back of your cabinet. So the only other dimension I suppose that we could take is how far out does that really go. I have this at least 70 degree. That's going to push out about 2 1/4 inch. So when I deflect that out quite that far, it's going to be about 2 1/4 inch. So by that time, really the only effective reach is going to be how far down your cabinet hangs. But 1.5 inch, 2 inch. I would think this is meant to give you something in that range in terms of getting the cabinet open. I suppose at that point you can put your hand down and pull it through. I guess this could be for, Hafele being a European company, you're going to see hardware for kitchen and other storage applications that may be slightly atypical in North American, or I should say American, applications. So to some of us it might be foreign. Why wouldn't there be a pull or a knob? Well, I could imagine that there is no hardware on bottom cabinets, but you still need to get it open, this foot pedal would be a great way to go about doing that. And they also mentioned not only for a rolling refuse container, but for a bottom drawer as well is what this could be used for. Okay, so we've gone all the dimensions, the weight, what its basic functionality is. Let me show you the rest of the parts that are in the packaging, and then we'll switch to the screen view and we will look at the instructions, which it helps to have the hardware in your hand, or at least to be able to see it. The wear strip I mentioned, that's going to be about 3/4 tall. It's going to be about 6 inch in length. You're going to get this mounting plate, which I also think is a shim. It's also a guide. Length about 4 3/4, about 1 3/8 inches wide. The thickness of this item, 0.118. Thickness of this leading edge as well, just for the sake of taking that, 0.128. 0.128. And then finally you will get a set of what would probably be called binding posts, or possibly sex bolts. That's going to allow you to attach this unit through the cabinetry. That's going to be obvious when we look at the instructions, which are packaged with the hardware, but let's switch to the screen view now and take a closer look at that information. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Here's the item that we are reviewing. Let's take a look at some images that we have uploaded here as well. Here is what the box looks like, the label. It's not really obvious what it's doing when you look at that. Here are the contents. Front view, or elevation view is what it would be called. Plan view. I would call that a left side view, actually. No, forgive me, that's a right side view. The back side, showing that spring. It's not hinged anywhere, but when this is fixed and you put your foot down on the front, it can only tip out the way that I demonstrated earlier. The shim template mounting bracket, binding posts, your wear strip there. Okay, foot pedal for waste bins, suitable for waste bins behind front panels. Can also be used for the bottom drawer, can easily be retrofitted. Dimensions, material, stainless steel. This is not stainless steel. This is some sort of a cast material. It has a silver type finish, but it's probably zinc would be my guess as to what it is. But stainless it is not. Sold as each. When you buy one, we'll ship you one. Let's click on the link here to the manufacturer's page, and this will show you this item and a few sister products, actually. We'll look at this in the installation instructions. The other items that are here are clearly similar in nature. This might be a latching system that's here. Okay, let's take a look at the installation instructions, or mounting instruction. So, in true European fashion, no words, lots of pictures. The parts have been identified. We don't know what they're called. Doesn't really matter. This is a formula telling you to install it on the center line of the cabinet. They want you to use that to mark the 2 holes and then to drill the 2 mounting holes. I'm going to go with that being millimeter. So just less than 1/3 of an inch, maybe 5/16, something in that range. So here's the cross section. So this is all obvious. I guess they're inferring that you're going to space this to the front, just flush it to the front of the cabinet right here. Those holes appear to be equidistant from the front or the back of the unit, of the plate. Then here, That's part C. Part A is the business end. Part B is the wear strip. So that gets, there's self-adhesive tape that's there. That gets applied to the back. This line here must be a reference to the drawer slide, the refuse container, whatever it might be. This has to be the greater, it must just be showing that this moves in that direction. You drill the hole, you can see that the plate is here, but it's not here when they go through the steps of actually installing it. So it may be just a shim, it may be optional. I'm not sure what the definition of this is, other than, I'm not sure. So use it or don't according to your application. If anything, I would be tempted to mount it on the top as a reinforcing plate is what I would end up doing. I would mount it here, but rather than these binding posts, because that'll likely, it could be solid lumber, and if it is, it could be soft enough. Enough depressing this pedal may cause stress on that. So I would be tempted to mount it up at the top and leave it there. Because you're likely never going to see it. So that's your installation. What would be nice would be one more picture simply showing this tipped out at 45 degree. An arrow, that kind of thing. But discovering the material, having it in your hand, makes it really obvious what it does and how it works. There is a link below this video, as seen here, to the manufacturer's page. And from here you can pull up not only all of the Hafele products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, as well as a link to the manufacturer's website, and a link to their product catalog, prior versions of their product catalog, their websites. Yeah, okay, fully, no, not yet fully functional, but as a very good resource to use when you're simply searching for information, data. The one complaint with Hafele is that they usually don't produce nearly an adequate amount of documentation for a lot of people. Catalog cut, installation instructions, screen grabs of certain information, but sometimes it's still not obvious how it's installed, and this is one of those instances. Client couldn't sort it out. I really wasn't comfortable with the guesswork. I asked them for a sample, and here it is, and this video ensued. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've made it this far into this video, you must be determined to see it through to the end, and we appreciate your hanging in there with us and watching this entire video. It means a lot. It takes a lot of work to create these videos in the sense that, it's time taken away from doing other things. However, the advantage for me personally of creating these videos is the fact that it does allow myself to either learn about something new, to reacquaint myself with something, or to reinforce what I believe that I already know. Any comments that you might leave down below would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. So in conclusion, if you have any questions on the Hafele 507.47.186 foot pedal or any other Hafele product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you very much. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.